has had his own TV show, his own radio show for years. So it's not just local people, it's local people with really talent.
Sunlight! Daffodils! And me! Why, I'm almost a whole day old now. I arrived yesterday, I think. For if there had been a day before yesterday, I wasn't here when it happened, or I would remember it.
Monday. This new creature with the long hair is a good deal in the way. It's always hanging around and following me about. I don't like it. I'm not used to the company. I wish it would stay with the other animals. Cloudy today, wind in the east. Think we shall have some rain. Where did I get that word? Ah, I remember now. The new creature uses it.
The moon got loose last night and slid down and fell out of the scheme. Oh, it was a great loss. It breaks my heart to think of it, for there's not another thing comparable to it for its beauty and finish among the other decorations and ornaments. Oh, if we could only get it back. For I do love moons. They're so pretty and so romantic. I wish I didn't have to sleep at night. I'd never get tired of just lying on the moss bank and looking up at them.
Tuesday. Been examining the great waterfall. Think it is the finest thing on the estate. The new creature calls it Niagara Falls. Says it looks like Niagara Falls. That is no reason whatsoever. So the new creature names everything that comes along now before I have a chance to get in a protest. And always with the same pretext. It looks like the thing.
I followed the other experiment around for a while yesterday afternoon at a distance to see what it might be for if I could, but I couldn't figure it out. I think that it is a man. Oh, I've never seen a man, but it looks like one. I realize that I feel more curiosity about it than I do any of the other reptiles. If it is a reptile, and I suppose it is, for it has little hair and blue eyes and looks like a reptile. It has no hips, and it tapers like a carrot. And when it stands, it spreads itself apart like a derrick. So I think it must be a reptile. Though it may be architecture. Do you like stars?
What?
Stars! Do you like them? Oh, I do. I just love them. Last night I tried to knock some down with a pole, but it wouldn't reach, which astonished me. And then I tried to clod some down until I was all tired out. But I never did get one. It's because I'm left-handed and cannot throw good.
She cannot throw good.
Oh, I know, but man can. Would you clod one down for me? I'd love to put one in my hair.
Go away, go away. You talk too much. You're leaking water from your holes. Stop that. I'm going to go climb a tree.
I thought I was afraid of the other creature, but now I know that it's afraid of me and I'm not timid anymore. I tracked it for a while, but it got a good deal worried and climbed a tree. I gave up and went home. morning. Today, the same thing over. Got it up the tree again.
Wednesday. Build me a shelter against the rain. I did not have it to myself for very long. The new creature intruded.
Rain! Oh. Can I come in?
No, go away! They must have given you a bad set of holes because they're leaking again.
They're tears.
Tears, huh? No.
Sunday. Got it up the tree again. It is up there yet, resting apparently. I get tired of just sitting around watching the tree all day long. I wonder what it's for. I never see it do anything. They returned the moon last night. Oh, I was so happy. It's very honest of them. It slid down and fell off again, but one has no need to fear when one has that kind of neighbors. They will bring it back. I would love to do something to show them my appreciation. Oh, I know. Oh, I'd like to send them some stars, for we have many more than we can use. Well, I mean for it is plain to see that the reptile does not care a thing for such things. Oh, that's much better.
What? Nothing is the same anymore. Thursday. The naming goes recklessly on in spite of anything that I can do. I had a very good name for the estate. And it was musical and pretty. The Garden of Eden. Privately, I continue to call it that, but not any longer publicly. The new creature says that it is all rocks and trees and scenery and bears no resemblance whatsoever to a garden. Says it looks like a park. And that it doesn't bear any resemblance to anything but a park. Consequently, without consulting me, it has been new named Niagara Falls Park. This is sufficiently high-handed, it seems to me. And already there is a sign up. Keep off the grass. My life is not as happy as it once was. Hey, stay away from that tree. It is forbidden. Saturday. The new creature eats entirely too much fruit. We shall run short, most likely. Either that or it'll eat us out of house and home. We. That is its word. Mine too now, from hearing it so much.
Good deal of fog this morning. Oh, I don't go out in the fog myself, but the other experiment does. Goes out in all kinds of weather and tromps right in with its muddy feet.
It talks, and talks, and talks, and talks. Used to be so pleasant and quiet around here.
If that reptile is a man, then it isn't an it, is it? That wouldn't be grammatical, would it? No, I think it would be he. Yes, I think so. And in that case, one would conjugate it thus. Nominative, he. Dative, him. Possessive, his'n. Well, I shall continue to call it thus until it turns out to be something different. This will help to avoid any uncertainties. Oh, good morning, he. You may call me Eve.
Eve? All right, I have no objections. But you are superfluous.
Oh, well, that's a lovely word. Where did you get it?
I made it up. I was looking at it and thought, superfluous.
I am not an it. I am she.
All right then, she is superfluous.
I'm a part of you. Oh, I am. I'm made from a rib taken from your body.
No, don't be silly. I'm not missing any ribs.
Oh, I love to talk. I talk and talk all day, and I talk in my sleep too, and I'm very interesting. But I would be twice as interesting if I had someone else to talk to. Oh, we're getting along very well now, and getting better and better acquainted. And he doesn't try to avoid me anymore, which is a very good sign and shows that he likes to have me with him.
She engages herself in many foolish things. Amongst others, to study out why animals like lions and tigers live on grass and trees and flowers, when, as she says, the kind of teeth that they wear should mean that they should eat each other. That is foolish. Because to do that, that would mean that they would have to kill each other. And that would introduce what, as I have been told, is called death. And death, as I understand it, has not yet entered the park. Which is a pity on some accounts.
Would you move over, please?
Oh, no, go away.
Have I done something wrong? Have I done something to make you angry?
Just go. Why don't you go out and stand in the rain and let your holes leak?
That was my very first sorrow.
Sunday. Pulled through. Barely. Monday. I figured out what the rest of the week is for. It is to rest up from the weariness of Sunday. I think that that is a very good idea. Stay away from that tree!
Nobody was watching.
That is hardly sufficient justification for chancing such a dangerous thing.
Justification? That's a lovely word, Adam.
It is forbidden. You will come to harm if you don't watch out.
Oh, but if I please you, it doesn't matter if I come to harm. What is that voice?
I've heard it before, though I've never seen it.
Tell me about it.
It is the Lord of the garden. He commanded me to dress and to keep it. And to not eat from that apple tree that you keep on trying to eat from.
Why?
Because if we do, we shall surely die. Our deaths would be certain.
That's silly. Why would he put a tree there and then tell us not to eat of its fruit?
It is the tree of the knowledge of good and evil.
Well, what is that?
What is what?
What is good?
I do not know.
Well, then what is evil?
I suppose that it is the name of something, but of what I'm not certain.
Well, you must have some idea what it is.
Why should I have some idea? I have never seen the thing. You know, how am I to form any conception of it? What is your notion of it?
I don't know. Alan, there are those other new words, die and death. What do they mean?
I have no idea.
Well, then what do you think they mean?
My child, can't you see that it is impossible for me to form even a plausible guess about something of which I am absolutely ignorant? A person cannot think when he has no material to think with. Isn't that true?
Yes, that's true. Well, just because I can't know something, I all the more want to. We sat and turned the puzzle over around in our minds for a bit, and then, all of a sudden, I saw how to find out, and was surprised we hadn't thought of it before. It was so simple. How stupid we are.
Huh?
Let us eat of the fruit, then we shall die, and and know what it is and not have any more bother about it.
You're right. No, you're wrong. Father commanded us not to eat of that tree.
Oh, Adam, you're no fun. How are we ever going to understand?
Sunday. Hold through again. Tuesday. She has taken up with the snake now. The other animals are glad, for she was always experimenting with them and bothering them. And I am glad because the snake talks. And this enables me to get a rest.
The snake has advised me to eat the fruit. He says it will result in a great and fine education.
It will have another result. You will introduce death into the world. I advise you to stay away from that tree.
Don't you tell me what to do.
Wednesday. She has taken to beseeching me to stop going over the Great Falls. What harm does it do?
Oh, it makes me shudder.
Why? I have always enjoyed the plunge and the coolness. I suppose that's what the falls were for. They had to have some purpose, and they must have been put there for some reason.
No, they were only made for scenery, like the rhinoceros and the mastodon.
Huh?
Huh?
Went over the falls in a barrel. Not satisfactory to her. Went over in a tub. Still not satisfactory. Swam the whirlpool and the rapids. Got much damaged. Hence, tedious complaints about my extravagance. I am too much hampered here. I need a change of scene.
I tried to persuade him not to go over the falls. It's because this new thing, called fire, has revealed to me a new passion, fear, and it's horrible, and it gives me dark moments when I wish I'd never discovered it. Oh, it makes me shiver and shudder. I tried to persuade him, but he had not discovered fear yet, and so could not understand me.
Perhaps I should remember that she is very young, a mere girl, and make allowances. She is all interest, eagerness, and vivacity. She can't speak for delight when she finds a new flower. She must pet it and caress it and smell it and talk to it and pour out endearing names upon it. Oh, and she is color mad. Brown rocks, yellow sand, green foliage, gray moss, blue sky, the purple shadows of the mountains, the pearl of dawn, the golden islands floating in the crimson seas at sunset, the star jewels glittering in the wastes of space. None of them has any practical value as far as I can see. But because they have color and majesty, that is enough for her, and she loses her mind over them. If she could just sit still and be quiet for a couple of minutes at a time, it might be a repulsive spectacle. In that case, I think I could enjoy looking at her. Indeed. I know that I could. For I am coming to find that she is a remarkably comely creature. Lithe, slender, trim, rounded, shapely, nimble and graceful. And once when she was lying marble white and sun-drenched on a boulder, her young head tilted back, her hand shading her eyes from the sun as she watched the flight of a bird in the sky, I recognized she was beautiful.
He talks very little. Maybe it is because he is not white and is sensitive about it and wishes to conceal it. Oh, it's a pity that he should feel so, for brightness is nothing. It is in the heart that the values lie. Oh, I wish that I could convince him that a good and loving heart is riches, and riches enough, and that without it, intellect is poverty.
Wednesday, I escaped and rode a horse all night long. About an hour after sunup, as I was riding through a flowery plain where thousands of animals were grazing, they suddenly broke into a tempest of frightful noises. And in one moment, the entire plain was filled with a frantic commotion, and every beast was destroying its neighbor. I knew what had happened. Eve had eaten that fruit, and death had come into the world. I found this place not far outside of the park, and was content for a while, but she has found me out, and has named the place Tonawanda. Says it looks like Tonawanda. In fact, I'm not sorry that she came, for there are but meager pickings here. And she brought some of those apples. She came curtained in boughs and bunches of leaves. And to me it seemed unbecoming and idiotic. And when I asked her what she meant by such nonsense...
You'll know soon enough how it feels. Go get me something to wear. Clothes are uncomfortable. Oh, but they're so stylish. Well, I guess we shall have to get to work now.
What?
Oh, it's something that we've been commanded to do. It's something we'll do for the rest of our lives. It's been ordered.
I find that she is a good deal of a companion, and I know that I would be lonely and depressed if she were not here. She will be useful. I shall superintend.
Love, peace, comfort, measureless contentment. That was life in the garden. It was a joy to be alive. Oh, pain? There was none, nor infirmity, nor any physical signs to mark the flight of time. Disease, care, and sorrow? One might find these outside the garden, but not in Eden, never in Eden. There they had no place. There they never came. Oh, all days were alike, and all a dream of delight. A year passed, and Adam went into the north country. Hurry back.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was born. Oh, what a surprise!
We have named it Cain. She caught it while I was trapping up along the north shore of Erie. Caught it a couple of miles from our dugout. It resembles us in some ways, and may be a relation. That is what she thinks. But that is an error, in my judgment. The difference in size warrants the conclusion that this is a new and different kind of animal. A fish, perhaps, though when I took it and put it in the water to see if it would swim, it sank. And she plunged in and snatched it out before the experiment had the opportunity to determine the matter. I still think it is a fish, though she is indifferent about what it is and will not let me have it to try. I understand. The coming of the creature has changed her whole nature and made her unreasonable about experiments.
Oh, I care so much for it.
More than she does about any of the other animals.
I can't really explain why.
Sometimes she carries the fish in her arms half the night when it complains, and it wants to get back in the water. She pats it on the back and makes soft sounds to soothe it and is solicitous to it in 100 different ways. She was never like this with any other fish, and it worries me greatly. She used to carry young tigers around before we lost our property, and play with them. But that was just play. She never took on about them like this when their dinner disagreed with them.
Oh, little one, on Sunday we do not work. On Sunday we rest. Wee! Wee!
There's that "we" again. I have come to like Sundays myself. In the old days, they were tough, but now they come in handy. There ought to be more Sundays.
Oh, Adam, it is laughing. Have you ever seen a fish that could laugh?
It may well be that it is not a fish, though I don't get a chance to see whether it can swim or not. All right, if it is not a fish, then it is an enigma.
That's a nice word, Adam.
Either an enigma or some kind of bug. When it dies, I'll take it apart and see what its arrangements are.
Oh, for my dead boy!
3 months later. I sleep but little. It has ceased from lying around and goes about on its 4 legs now. And yet, it differs from other 4-legged animals in that its front legs are considerably shorter than its hind ones. Consequently, this causes the major part of its body to stick up uncomfortably high in the air, and it is not at all attractive. It is built much like we are, though the difference in the mode of traveling shows that it is not of our breed. Now, the short front legs and the long hind ones indicate that it is of the kangaroo family. It must have been very young when it came to us, for it has grown exceedingly since. It must be 5 times as big now as it was then. And when discontent can make from 20 to 38 times as much noise as it used to. She reconciles it by persuasion and by giving it things that she previously told me that she wouldn't give it. It seems odd that it is the only one. Yet it must be so, for I have worn myself out these past weeks trying to find another one to add to my collection, and for this one to play with. But I find none, nor any vestige of any. And what is strangest of all, no tracks. 3 months later, if I could just catch another one. No, but that is out of the question. It is the only sample, and a new variety, that is clear. Oh, I pity the poor noisy little animal. But there's nothing that I can do to make it happy. If I could just tame it. But that is impossible. The harder I try, the worse I seem to make it. Oh, it grieves me to the heart to see it in its little storms of sorrow and passion. Let's turn it loose.
No, you cruel brute!
Oh, right. It might make it lonelier than ever, especially since I can't find another one. Five months later, it is not a kangaroo. No, for it supports itself by hanging onto her 2 fingers like this, and thus it takes a few steps on its hind legs before it falls down. It is probably some kind of bear. though it has no tail yet, it has grown considerably. And this is curious, for bears get their growth earlier than this. Bears are dangerous since we lost our property. And I will not be content to have this one roaming around for much longer without a muzzle on. I'll get you a kangaroo if you let this one go.
No, Adam, I do not want a kangaroo.
She was not like this before she lost her mind. A fortnight later. There is no danger yet. I've been checking its mouth. It only has one tooth right there. It keeps on growing. It makes more noise now than it ever did before. I have moved out. But I shall go back mornings to breakfast to see if it has any more teeth. For once it gets a mouthful of teeth, it will have to go. Tail or no tail. For a bear does not need a tail to be dangerous. 4 months later, I'm going to go on a far expedition to the forests of the north and make an exhaustive search. There must be another one somewhere. And this one will certainly be a lot happier if it has the company of its own species. Three months later, it has been a weary hunt. And yet, while I have had no success, without even stirring from the home estate, she has caught another one. I have never seen such luck. I might have wandered those forests for 100 years and never found one like she did. Next day, I've been comparing the new one with the old one, and it is clear that they are of the same breed. I wanted to stuff one of them for my collection, but she objected to that idea for some reason or another, and I had to relinquish it. Though, I think it is a mistake. It would be an irreparable loss to science if one of those should get away. The older one is tamer than it once was, and can laugh and talk like a parrot. Having learned that, no doubt, from being around the parrot so much.
Oh!
The younger one is as ugly as the old one used to be. It has the same singular head with no fur on it. She calls it Abel.
Run along, dear. Adam,
What? What do I do now?
just love it, dear.
Can it swim?
No, it cannot swim. We were about a year and a half old when Cain was born, and about 3 or 3.5 when Abel was added. By this time, Adam was getting to understand, and gradually his experiments grew less and less troublesome, until finally, within about a year after the birth of Edwina and Gladys, years 5 and 6, ceased altogether. He grew to love the children fondly, especially after he had them scientifically classified. From that time until now, the bliss of Eden was perfect.
10 years later, they are boys. We found that out a long time ago. They're coming in that small, immature shape that really puzzled us. There are some girls now, too.
Cain, Abel, keep out of my garden. And looking back, the Garden of Eden was a dream to me. Oh, it was beautiful, surpassingly beautiful, enchantingly beautiful. But now the garden is lost, and we shall not see it anymore. True, the garden is lost, but I have found him, and am content. Oh, he loves me as well as he can, and I love him with all the strength of my passionate nature, And this, I think, is proper for my youth and sex. Oh, the boys? Why, they're almost as tall as I am now.
Abel is a good boy. Though I think if Cain would have remained a bear, it might have improved him. I never know what to expect from him from one moment to the next.
Some time ago, my boys were fighting. Cain hit Abel, and then hid from the Lord. Now, Cain is gone, and Abel is dead. There is too much stillness in my house.
Eve? Eve, are you all right?
Oh, Adam, it is my prayer, my longing, that we shall leave this earth together, a longing which shall never pass from the world.
Don't talk about death, Eve. We've already had too much sorrow.
But Adam, if one of us must go first, I pray that it shall be I. For I am not strong as you. I am weak, and I'm not as useful to you as you are to me. Life without you would not be life. How could I endure it? When I ask myself why I love him, I find that I do not really know. I do not really care to know. I realize that this kind of love is not the product of reasoning and statistics like one's love for other reptiles and animals. Oh, I do love to hear birds and song, but it is not on account of Adam singing that I love him. No, it is not that. In fact, the more I hear him sing, the more I do not get reconciled with it. Yet I ask him to sing because I wish to learn to like the things that he is interested in. And I'm sure I can learn. Oh, I'm sure I can. For at first, oh, it was awful. I could not stand it. But now I can. It sours the milk. But it doesn't matter. I can get used to that kind of milk. It is not on account of Adam's gracious and delicate ways that I love him. No, for he lacks in these regards. And yet he is well enough just so. And it is not on account of Adam's industry that I love him. No, it is not that. Well, then why is it that I love him? Merely, I think, because he is masculine. At bottom, he is good, and I love him for that. And yet, if he were to be upset and holler at me, I should still go on loving him. I know I would. It's a matter of gender, I think. He is strong and handsome, and I love him for that. And I admire him, and I'm so proud of him. And yet I could love him without those qualities. If he were plain, I would love him. If he were a wreck, I would love him. And I would work for him and slave over him and pray for him and watch by his bedside until I died. Then why is it that I love him? Merely, I think, because he is mine. And he is masculine. Yet, I am only a girl and the first who has ever examined this matter. And it may turn out that in my ignorance and inexperience, I have not got it right.
Eve died today. Like I knew she would, of course. At least she got her wish. She left first. Now that she's gone, I realized something that I didn't realize before about Eve. At first, I thought she talked too much. And now I see that I was mistaken. It is better to live outside the garden with her than to live inside it without her. I'm sorry to have that voice fall silent and pass out of my life. Blessed be the experience that brought us together and showed me the goodness of her heart and the sweetness of her spirit. For wheresoever she is, there is Eden.
We've missed the trolley again, Twiddlington. It was that last train. Now we're 40 minutes late. Oh, Tess will have her steam up.
You don't mind her steam being up?
Oh, no, she's all fire, that girl.
Oh, sorry. You don't often drink that much.
Let's have another. We have time now.
Oh, I couldn't.
Oh, what's the matter? Little wife be upset with you?
I just don't know.
You don't know.
I've never come home this late before, and I never drink in town.
Well, what do you drink?
I don't.
Oh, I do. Sometimes I'm late on purpose. Women expect men to be late, my boy. Old Tess yells and scowls, but she always makes up. She makes up better than anyone I know. She is all woman.
Aren't they all?
Oh, no. Some are like beer without a head. Oh, I've a capital idea. Harry Travers gave me these this morning. Why don't you, little woman, join us?
What are they?
Tickets to the Black Crook. Harry's father's brother plays cards with the producer. We can make it evening. Meet at the theater, and afterwards go somewhere to eat. What do you say? What do you? Or you have something else planned?
Oh, just a quiet evening at home.
Oh, you do have something else planned.
It's our anniversary.
A quiet evening at home on your anniversary? Oh, come on, boy, try these on her. She'll be delighted.
You think so?
The way to any woman's heart and her bed is to take her out, show her off, let the rest of the world know you've got her.
Oh, I'm afraid it won't work out.
Oh, the show begins at 8:30. And we've nearly 3 hours.
It's not the time, Danvers. She doesn't enjoy the theater.
Oh, she's an opera girl then.
Yeah, no. She doesn't like nightlife, I'm afraid.
You like opera?
Oh, yes.
Oh, so do I, so does Tess.
Tess seems to like everything.
Oh, not as much as we like musical comedy. But we both enjoy living it up. Although sometimes there's something she doesn't like or something I don't care for. We have a big knockdown drag out about it. Oh, shit.
How do you do that?
Do what?
Knock down and drag out?
Well, you state your interest and you stick by them. You walk into her boudoir or her bathroom or wherever it is women like to hide when they're mad. And you say, now looky here, Tess, there's no good reason why you shouldn't approve of this or that. And she said, oh, really, Bart, no, the bathroom. And you say, well, I don't interfere with your keys of your house or your comings or your goings. I don't see why you should interfere with mine.
And what does she say to that?
Oh, it takes her a while to cool down. After a while, she comes rolling in when you've forgotten all about it and says, well, if it's really so important, you go ahead. Then you're on the we basis again.
Pardon me. We basis?
My boy, we is the paramount consideration of living with a woman. They generally come through and reciprocate in kind.
But how?
Well, she likes opera and you don't. Take her to the opera. But make sure she thinks it's her idea.
Well, suppose then she wants you to go with her to some kind of tea.
Oh, best thing that could happen. She'd soon discover how wrong that would be. The difference between a man and a woman is that a woman has to try something out to know if it's a good idea or not, while a man has it clearly in his own mind from the beginning.
That's
Yeah. And another thing, women need a brisk spanking now and then.
They do?
They do.
No, not Sheila. She's exemplary in every way. A man couldn't ask for a more orderly, even-tempered wife.
She never gets angry.
Never.
Not ever.
None. She meets me at the door with my slippers, doesn't spend a lot of money, and doesn't get about like most women.
Oh, great sea fishes, man. What does she do? Don't you go anywhere?
She's perfectly contented to stay at home, thinking of ways to please me.
I don't mean to be rude, Whittington, but that sounds terribly boring to me.
I'll tell you a secret, Danvers. It is.
Then why do you allow it?
She's so perfect in every way. I wouldn't want to change things for anything less.
And the bird. You're taking the bird home to her. Does she like birds?
Oh, yes. She adores them.
She has other birds.
No.
But you said she adored them.
Well, she does. But I don't. Can't tolerate them.
She'll want another to keep this company, you know. Women delight in pairing things up. They have an unlimited capacity for making the most out of everything. And what they want today can go hang tomorrow. You'll find you cannot keep a woman happy by giving her everything she wants. I wouldn't. Now, my Tess is one of those women who is never satisfied, and I thank God for it.
Well, Sheila seems perfectly satisfied.
Oh, nonsense. All women are insatiable. I wouldn't want one that wasn't. Don't you ever quarrel with her?
Never.
Oh, I don't understand that. You never get to know a woman till you quarrel with her. Didn't your mother ever quarrel with your father?
Oh, yes. They used to spat quite often.
So they did, and so did mine. And I'll bet there was a lot of kissing afterward. Now, that's what I call a good wee relationship. Why are you taking that bird home when you hate birds?
Oh, the way I see it, women are all tenderness and tea. The bird will amuse her.
Damn it, Twiddlington. How long have you been married?
1 year. Today.
And you're still trying to please each other all the time.
But she does not like other women, Danvers.
They are all women, Twiddlington. And you'll find you cannot live with a woman being nice to her. She wouldn't want that anyway. You never get to know a woman till you've met her in open battle. That's what makes a marriage. Find her breaking point, and then you'll know how far you can go the next time.
But how do you know when you found her breaking point?
Oh, women always cry at the breaking point. They may try a fainting spell or two before the tears come, but you'll soon learn to ignore that.
But I can't stand to hear women cry.
Then you'll never know how much fun it is making up. Women love to cry. They find excuses to cry. They hope you'll do something to make them cry.
Are you saying that I should deliberately antagonize her?
My boy, if you are bored with things the way they are, stir things up a bit. Live a little. Action makes a married burn brighter, my boy. Clears away all that smoke. That way you both maintain dignity and individuality. Marriage, in the final view, is just a little matter of we. Oh, there's my trolley. Will you take these tickets?
Yeah.
Oh, good boy. We'll see you at the theater then.
We'll be there.
Good. And we'll go somewhere after.
Right. We'll paint the town.
Oh, anything you like.
I'm still a little woozy.
Oh, don't worry. Women love that. They yell and scowl, put up a fuss, but they positively love playing that nursemaid role. Makes them feel like they're dragging someone out of the river. Oh,
You can't imagine Sheila doing that.
oh, never underestimate women, Twiddlington. They will continually surprise you. Oh, there's your trolley. Good luck. See you at 8:30.
Right. 8:30.
Oh, just put the slippers by the chair, Gaucher, as usual.
And the package, Mum?
It isn't a package, it's technically a parcel, Gaucher.
As you wish, Mum.
Anyway, I haven't decided where to put it yet. We need to surprise him, make a little game out of it.
I'll go and fetch it, Mum.
Your housekeeper isn't a very cheerful creature, is she?
Oh, she's had an unhappy life, Melissa. Her husband beats her.
Really? How interesting. Poor thing. Or lucky thing, I can't decide which.
He's a brute.
Well, so is she.
Melissa.
Well, darling, some of my most exhilarating experiences with Edward have followed a beating. Oh, not really a beating, but men can be excitingly brutish at times. Oh, I do suppose it all depends on how you look at it.
Oh, how you talk, Melissa. I do hope you don't talk like that to everyone.
Only to those who will listen, darling sister.
Here's the mess.
Put it over there, Gaucher.
You'll guess what it is straight away. It smells.
Do you think he'll guess, Melissa?
Well, I could, but Anna won't. Men have no imagination for things like that.
They're not supposed to, are they? They think only of figures and, well, numbers and practicum and things like that.
Yes, that is what they think about, in between the other things that they think about, which is about 92% of their time.
Men do seem to have to be all boss and business.
Yes, and only a few of them take time out to live, occasionally.
That will be all, Gaucher.
Yes, Mum, I was going anyway.
Do you suppose the poor thing has enough air?
Oh, I don't know. Oh, the bird! Would be dreadful if it were dead when Anna opened it.
Yes, tragic. To give the bird, so to speak. But a dead bird? Darling, why don't you move this lamp to here, I think. Yes, now don't you think that shows it off to better advantage?
Oh, you do have such elegant taste.
Oh, fiddle-dee-dee.
I do hope when I've been married as long as you, I'll be as wise as you.
Oh, darling, wise is as wise does. I'm always wiser talking than doing. Why is your Arlo so particular about everything?
Well, he isn't really. Well, I am. Well, I don't want to give him any occasion to be disappointed in me. He's such a top husband. If he has any fault at all, it's that he's too easily pleased. I find myself hoping that he'd be displeased once in a while. What do you think I hope for that?
Perhaps a sign. You say that he never comes home with liquor on his breath. He doesn't go out on Sunday. And he doesn't gad about with the other men.
Of course not.
Does he ever come home with liquor on his breath?
I've never detected anything.
Does he get angry with you?
Oh, no. I never give him cause.
Either he's covering up meticulously well, or he's having an affair.
Oh, how can he do that when my every moment is spent thinking of ways to make him happy and comfortable?
But darling, consider your happiness. Why all this preoccupation with material folderol, with settings for utter and deplorable comfort? The ritual of slippers and paper, wearing that necklace that you detest, doing needlework you despise, and above all, pretending to be a prim little housewife. Why, if I were to do all those things, Edward would mope about like Sherlock Holmes, trying to figure out what it was I was covering up.
Oh, I only do what any good wife should.
But darling, you never go anywhere. You never go anywhere.
But I don't have to.
Why not? We invited you out to parties and to soirees and to the theater.
Arlo doesn't like the theatre.
Oh, I know, and he doesn't like opera either.
Oh, it isn't the same thing, Melissa.
Well, darling, I don't understand it all. You go anywhere. What about this birdcage? Where are you going to put it anyway?
But Arlo adores birds. His mother was an ornithologist, and I think he misses having them around. Poor dear. Do you know that he purposely avoided us getting one this whole year, knowing how I feel about their clutter?
But darling, you can't stand them. You're allergic.
Just a little, it's such a small sacrifice.
Well, I simply cannot understand a man who will not take his own wife out to the theatre.
One has to make sacrifices to have a perfect marriage. Now do stop this, Millicent. Help me find somewhere to put the bird cage.
Any place. You can put it anywhere. Put it under his nose. Men rarely see things closest to their noses. Darling, I think I'd best be going. Your Mr. Twiddlington will soon come striding into his castle, and I'm sure that he will not want the unmarred peace and serenity of his kingdom disturbed by my presence. Besides, Edward and I are going out this evening to the Black Crook.
Oh, how exciting for you, Melissa.
You will remember, darling, that we invited you to go with us just months ago when we could still get tickets.
Oh, I do, but
I know. Arlo doesn't care for the theatre. Hello, Sheila, my darling sister, I do love you, and I do want you to have the happiest anniversary.
Thank you, dear. I love you too.
My, it was certainly speedy.
Rocher, would you get Mrs. Dabney's things?
Yes, I'll get Mrs. Dabney's things.
Sheila, doesn't your Mr. Twiddlington come home at 5:10 every evening?
Punctually.
It's now 10:06.
Oh, my goodness! Did Mr. Twiddlington leave any messages this morning, Rocher?
Not that I've seen, Mum.
He didn't say anything about being late this evening.
Not that I heard.
No? Well, it had to begin sometime. He'll be home. He'll be home sooner than later. In fact, he'll be better when he gets here. In fact, he may be better.
Why do you say that, like that?
Darling, I am a woman. I have been married 5 years.
That will be all, Rocher.
Yes, Mum.
Now, Melissa, what are you trying to tell me?
Darling, I think that you will find that the home fires have lost some of their glow for your Mr. Twiddlington. Oh, not because of you, darling butterfly, but in spite of you. They all go through it. Sitting at home by the fire with a thoroughly circumspect and perfectly available little wife is an enchanting adventure that soon pales for all men.
Are you saying that Arlo doesn't want to come home anymore?
Oh, darling, I've got to be going. But now you listen and listen carefully. Men are all alike. As soon as they feel that life is too secure, they get itchy and spasmodic in their behavior. True, they want all that security and the propriety that a wedding offers. But they also want the intrigue and that flirtatious rivalry of their bachelorhood. Do you follow? They are so inspired by their own daydreams that they simply refuse to accept reality, even when it proves that their daydreams are wishful thinking. Your Mr. Twiddlington probably wishes just as you do that for once you would be displeased.
Do you honestly think so?
My darling, we have all the symptoms.
Oh, what shall I do? I've been such a goose about things.
Fight back! Oh, that's the fun of it. Give him what's for when he acts like a poor, sick little pussycat. Let him know that you are someone to be reckoned with. Let him see green eyes burning and bright lights dancing. Show him a little of the gypsy that you used to those moon-eyed schoolboys back in the old days. Darling, men all love the gypsy in their women. Contest him in his statements, cross him in his meanderings. Curtail him in his pleasures. Cut out at him in fury, and watch him capitulate in fondness and pleasure. You'll love it, darling, and so will he.
Do you think I could do all that?
Don't simper. Be a hurdy-gurdy. Don't you remember what a silly little milksop I was when I was first married? You'll have to learn, my darling sister. say that hot gold burns two ways when Cupid is smelting those barbarous little arrows of his. Edward taught me that. Oh, look at the time. I absolutely must be flying. Edward will be straining at the leash. I'm off doing things he knows nothing about. Oh, come, on Wednesday, spend the day with me. Tell me everything that's happened. Oh, and do have a happy anniversary. I love you. Bye-bye.
Oh, Goucher! Goucher! Oh, where is she when you really need her? Goucher!
Mr. Twiddlington's coming up the road, Mum.
Slowly off what, Goucher?
Differently, Mum.
Help me find someone to put the bird cage. Oh, he's chattering to Mr. Argyle. We have time. Oh, behind the chair, right under his nose. Now, everything ready?
I think so, Mum.
Dinner almost ready?
It's been ready since 5:15, Mum.
Oh, brush the chair, Goucher. Mr. Twiddington would never forgive me if there were dog hairs on his trousers again. Perhaps one day we'll be able to tell him about poor Carmelia.
Oh, your necklace, Mum.
Oh, thank goodness you remembered. He would never forgive me if I were to forget the necklace.
It was well put away, Mum. I just forgot.
His precious mother wore it every day for 57 years.
I know, you've told me that, Mum.
It is a splendid thing, isn't it, Goucher?
Well, if you're asking me, I think it's a bit much, Mum. Looks a very heavy one.
That's why I only wear it when he's at home. Now, be sure to announce dinner promptly.
It's already 40 minutes late, Mum.
Oh, my needlepoint. Oh, thank you, Goucher. That will be all, I think. Dear Mr. Twiddlington.
Dear Mrs. Twiddlington also. I'm ever a little late, Mrs. Twiddlington.
A little.
40 or 50 minutes, I should imagine.
That much. Aren't you going to kiss me?
You want me to kiss you,
You really do.
but I am 40 or 50 minutes late.
Surely you have your reasons.
Of course. I was detained at the office.
Surely you have your reasons. You do, don't you?
Certainly, it was rather like a case.
At the office, you say?
Yes, at the office.
Oh, your paper's on the table, aren't
What is that you're working on?
The same needlepoint I was working on last night, and the night before that, and the night before that, just like your mother's.
And what have you been doing all day?
What do you mean?
Or, I mean, what have your precious hands been busy with all the day?
Why?
Just making conversation as usual.
Your slippers, Arlo.
You never forget, do you?
It's a wife's pleasure to remember the little things. The little things are often the most important. Don't you think? Have you been terribly busy at the office today?
Oh,
It must be tedious for you, sitting and listening to endless new cases, and defending people in stuffy courtrooms.
no one could imagine how tedious it is. But then I can't think about coming home all day to my dear wife. To everything that's steady and secure and stale, I mean solid.
It is a nice little home, isn't it, Arlo?
Of course it is, my dear. Man couldn't ask for anything more. What is for dinner, my love?
Why do you ask that?
I always ask what is for dinner.
Just for once, why can't you ask something else?
I can't think of anything else. I'm hungry.
What would most delight you then?
Oh, something substantial, I think. I'm ravenous.
What do you desire?
Anything like that. Why are you glaring like that?
If we must talk of dinner the moment you come into the house. Doctor, I haven't seen you for 9 long hours. As if that's all you come home for. We're having pigs in blankets, I believe.
Pigs in blankets?
That's what Boucher calls those little sausages all wrapped up in cabbage leaves.
Oh, those.
And then we're having Wardour salad with apples and nuts, all jellied up together with celery, and a wonderful dressing. And rolls, the flaky ones with almond butter. And a delightful new casserole with corn and pimentos, and that special imported cheese of which you're so fond.
Delightful.
And dessert. Dessert is an amazing thing. Bavarian scones with sauce, cream.
Enough, dearest. I didn't ask for a total menu.
But you did ask.
But I didn't ask you to itemize.
It wasn't itemizing. I was hoping that just for once you wouldn't ask about food the moment you came into the house. Especially today.
Today? What is today?
Tuesday, the 27th day of May.
Tuesday, the 27th day of May.
1866.
1866?
The 19th century.
Good heavens!
You didn't remember.
Oh, not remember such an important event in our lives.
You did remember.
Such a doubt that I did, I haven't a case, have I? Premeditated doubt.
Planning such a precious day for both of us.
You have?
I thought we might even go out somewhere.
Out somewhere. You want to go out somewhere?
Is that so shocking?
Rather.
I thought you might even take me to the ballet or the
You're
opera.
behaving strangely tonight, my dear. Are you feeling all right?
Why do you ask me that?
So if you wanted to go out, why didn't you just ask me?
Well, a husband's supposed to ask his wife if she wants to go out.
Tess doesn't think so.
Who's Tess?
She's my wife, a friend of my wife. Oh, my friend's wife.
Where was I when you were talking to your friend's wife?
I suppose you were at home, where you usually are. She's Danvers' wife, and he told me that sometimes she chooses where they are to go.
And I choose to go out tonight to the theatre.
But you don't like the theater.
Who told you that? You're the one that doesn't like the theatre.
Who told you that?
You never read the theatre section of the paper.
That doesn't mean I don't like the theater. Suppose I do take you to the theater. The next thing you'll want me to take you to someone's tea party.
Someone's tea party. I detest tea parties.
You do? So do I. But I thought all women liked tea parties. If you wanted me to take you to the theater, why didn't you ask me before now?
Would you have taken me?
Certainly.
There is something behind you.
Oh, so there is a package of some kind.
It's for you. You may open it if you desire.
Oh, thank you. Oh, looks quite familiar. A package that breathes. I hardly dare guess what's inside. A bird!
Isn't it darling? What did the bird sing to us?
It isn't a singer, I can tell. They are very temperamental and everything has to be just right or they won't even chirp.
It isn't very happy just now. It's been in the dark for a while.
I know just how it feels.
You don't like it.
Oh, I didn't say that, dear. One moment, please. Exhibit A! Proof of my delight.
You did remember. Oh, I've been so unkind.
Yes, you have been unkind, my dear. But everything's all right now, eh? So, dear, the evening stretches before us. What shall we do on this very special occasion after we have our dinner? Shall we play one of your delightful little card games?
We were talking about the theater.
Good. What would you like to see? Isn't Edwin Booth playing Hamlet at the Gardens?
That was last year.
It was.
A drama would be boring tonight anyway, something gay.
For someone who doesn't read the theater page, your knowledge seems quite current. Let's see. Here. Oh, here it is. Ah, Joe Jefferson and Rip Van Winkle at the Olympic. That is it, eh?
What else is playing?
Nothing of importance. Here's a new group doing East Lynne, and a revival of Our American Cousin. And another terrible title, The Black Crook.
Oh, the Black Crook, that sounds exciting.
No, I think we should see Jefferson. You can rely on him.
I think we should see the Black Crook. Ballet at least affords some culture.
Culture? The Black Crook's a plotless phantasmagoria with unclothed women dancers. We can't possibly be seen at the Black Crook.
You say we when all you really mean is yourself.
I never mean myself. When I plan anything, I always have you in mind, thinking of us. Why must women always distort their phraseology? They think everything they say can be perfectly understood by others when they can scarcely understand it themselves.
Oh, that is egotistical.
We shall remain at home, my dear. I shall read my papers.
Alone.
Alone?
Because I shall not remain in this house another moment.
Damn it, I pressed too far.
What are you saying?
I said, damn it.
Oh,
Why don't you cry or something?
why are you saying such things?
Because I'm tired of thinking things and not saying them.
Oh, now I see what a brute you are, the man behind the husband.
That sounds very much like Melissa.
And why Melissa?
Because you don't think like that. Was it, Melissa?
If it was.
Good for her. Now there's a woman who tells people what she really thinks.
Are you saying you approve of Melissa?
I've always approved of Melissa. In fact, she's one of the most approvable women I know. She can approve and reapprove people so often that she gets herself and others into predicaments that they have a devil of a time getting out of. But she has so much fun. What a time Edward must have of it.
I can't believe you're saying these things. I thought you disliked her.
I never said that, did I?
You always acted as if you disliked her. She's never felt at home in this house.
See how complex women are?
Why did you not conduct yourself as if you liked her?
Because you always watch me so closely.
Oh, what a preposterous remark. You're always a man without a tongue when any member of my family's around us.
Oh, that is the way I act around all the women I like. With those I love. Well, that's quite another matter.
I've quite forgotten how this all began. We shall go to the drama as you desire. We shall compromise, dear Arlo.
And why should you suddenly wish to go to the drama when all along you wanted to go to the musical?
And why are you so upset because I suggest we go where you desire first and where I desire second? You're trying to cover something up.
I'm trying to what?
Do you think me so naive that I can't tell you have liquor on your breath?
What is so funny?
You're funny. Every night, striding into your castle like a king, King Twiddlington, lord and ruler of his kingdom.
Very funny.
You think I'm such a milksop that I can't tell you have brandy on your breath.
It's not brandy. It's whiskey. You're not angry?
Angry? You're too funny. You don't even know how to hold your liquor.
I refuse to say another word to a woman who can't even get angry properly. Why don't you go get good and mad like other women?
Oh, I am good and mad. Not like other women. You men are so blind. To to risk offending her husband, a woman must say she would rather go to the opera than to the Black Crook, even though she enjoys seeing something naughty occasionally to defend you.
Madam, I'm shocked. The Black Crook's a body show.
Hooray for body shows. There's nothing wrong with bodies.
Body. B-A-W-D-Y.
I know how to spell body. I'm saying that you men seem to feel you may go where you wish, and we women aren't supposed to be interested. Women are human beings too, you know.
Yes, I've heard that.
Men think they're so funny.
Oh, and I suppose you have a case in point for such a remark.
You will remember when I said that Lotta Crabtree was singing down at the Wallocks, and you said,
Oh, how could she do that when she has a place in the country where she can't possibly disturb anybody?
I say that? How clever of me. You were amused, weren't you?
of course not.
Ah, women never laugh at jokes about other women, in spite of the fact that women are funnier than men.
In spite of the fact that though men win the bread, they seldom know when they have too much crust.
Delightful! Delightful, my dear. You do have a sense of humor. Bread crust. I must remember to tell that one to Danvers. Oh, that reminds me how hungry I am.
Men, all they think about is their stomachs and their papers.
And women?
Oh, women desire nothing more than to please their men.
Tears? Are you actually shedding tears?
Is that what you desire? Tears?
Desire! Desire! Don't you have any other verbs in your vocabulary?
What's wrong with desire?
In the correct metaphor, nothing.
You and your lawyer semantics. Oh, Owen, what are we doing this for?
For a change, my dear. We're having a knockdown and a drag out. A battle, a quarrel.
You're stopping this instant.
Perhaps. But you must admit it has brightened up an otherwise stuffy evening, hasn't it?
Can't we discuss what we're worrying about sensibly?
The drama begins at 8:15. That gives us approximately, how long? 1 hour to have our dinner and to dress.
There you go again, and you know very well I want to go to the musical.
No, we talked that over. Settled it.
You talked it over, and you know very well where I want to go.
Well, you may go there any time you wish, my dear.
I can't believe you're saying these things.
Dinner?
Ah!
Dinner will remain where it is, Goucher. Where are you going, Goucher?
To the kitchen, Mum.
I haven't finished speaking to you yet. On second thoughts, who may serve dinner? To Mr. Twidlington, alone. When he desires.
Well, do you want your dinner?
I probably shall not be eating any dinner at all, Boucher.
But the sausages
They get cold.
and the rolls
They...
Are already cold.
and the scones and the sauce.
May go in the bloody bin.
In the bin, Mum.
The bin, Boucher. You may go, Boucher.
And another thing. What has that woman got against me?
You're a man. No matter, I'm going to let her go anyway.
What? After the difficult time you had in getting her?
It takes me hours just trying to think of things to keep her busy.
But I thought you wanted a maid.
I never said I wanted a maid. You thought I needed her. Once in a while, I'd like to lie in bed without worrying what she thinks of me. Occasionally, I'd like to slop around in my kimono without glassy looks from her.
Slop around like other women.
I have another. I'm tired of trying to be some sort of intellectual. Women like that exist only in books.
I can't believe what I'm hearing. Are you telling me that you are going to step down off that pedestal?
Don't come near me. You're not the man I thought poultry, you
You, thank God, are not the woman I thought you to be.
How could I desire to marry such a man? You only want to hurt me.
Now you're speaking like a witness for the defense. You've even used the word correctly.
What word?
Desire.
A simple word upset you so. You must have been drinking all day.
A few gallons of bourbon, several quarts of gin, and 2 or 3 half pints of cognac.
You're breaking my heart.
When did you first realize it?
You wouldn't care, would you? Not in the least.
When it happens, my dear. Let it happen. Quickly, quietly.
Oh, you beast! You beast! I should have listened to my mother!
Oh, and I should have advised you to have listened to your mother. And why am I a beast? Oh, Boucher, come back here. In. Right here, Boucher. Now, Boucher, I want you to tell me if I'm a beast or not.
A beast?
Yes, Mom, I'm a beast. Am I a beast? Boucher, come back here. In. That's fine, Boucher. Now, you'll serve dinner immediately. Now go. That makes me feel better.
What will the neighbors think?
Oh, who cares what they think? We are merely having a delightful, meaningful, normal domestic misunderstanding. There. Well, I haven't had so much fun I haven't had so much fun. Do you know what we've done, Sheila? We've broken the ritual.
The ritual?
We won't have to be bored here any longer. We've broken the spell of what goes on here every evening. The slippers, the paper, the pipe, the cards, the ritual.
You thought those things were ritual? The slippers, the paper, the pipe. And so was the necklace, the needlepoint.
Yes, my dear, symbols of our turgid contempt.
You didn't like the ritual?
Did you?
No, never. But you seem so content.
So did you.
Oh. Sitting here evening after evening, smelling that stinky pipe. Waiting for you to cough or to smile or anything. Wearing this hideous glass chain around my neck just to please you.
You really don't like the necklace?
I detest it, in spite of the fact that it was your dear mother's.
So do I. I've always thought it abominable.
And I detest birds. Birds belong in trees.
Likewise, and rituals belong in churches.
Why didn't you say so in the beginning?
It is the beginning. I'm saying so now. Oh.
To think I've been wearing this glass chain around my neck this whole year. And poking at that detestable needlepoint.
Sheila, look here.
I can't imagine why. Oh, I'm going insane.
Please, stop before you do it. Look at these.
Look, Dad, right up. They could have come and taken me away, and you've got me sitting in that silly chair, doing as you wish, as you desire, as you darn please. Oh!
Women are amazing. They use the same reaction to serve a number of responses. They shriek, contract, and show their teeth when they mean only love. They're the only creatures who pretend something is true so seriously that what they pretend does in fact become reality. Darling! Yoo-hoo!
What are they?
2 items of evidence in the case of 2 making a we.
They look like tickets. To the theatre. To the what?
To the Black Crook.
Oh, you wretch! The Black Crook!
Thank you, my dear. And that concludes the case for the defense of 2 making a we.
For the first time, a we. Dinner?
Thank you, Goucher. We were just coming in. Oh, and Goucher, Would you be sure to set out an extra special good bone for the dog tonight as sort of a celebration? A homecoming celebration. Oh, and Goucher, one more thing. Please accept these as a sincere token of our what? Never mind. Just let them brighten up your corner.
You knew all the time. Harlow, didn't I strike you as having a little gypsy in me?
Oh, no, my dear, you don't. You strike me as having a lot of gypsy in you. As a matter of fact, a heck of a lot of gypsy in you. Come here.
Why?
I have my reasons.
I'm not certain I want to just yet. You're wicked tonight, you know.
Wasn't it nice?
It would have to be a very good reason.
It is, I assure you.
Why?
Because I desire it.
But dinner.
In the bin. 100 years from now, they may do it differently. But that's too far in the future to worry about.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here tonight to tell you the truth, the whole truth and nothing but the truth. I am a bachelor. I have always been a bachelor, and I shall always be one. Many of my married friends have tried to persuade me to marry, but of course I've always refused, and I shall always refuse. I see some of you in the audience smiling in a knowing sort of way. Smile on, my friend. The joke is not on me. But please, don't misunderstand me. I'm a bachelor through inclination, not necessity. Spotlight there. Thank you. Kindly observe, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not without personal charm. As a matter of fact, I always impress women. I simply can't help it. It's my nature. There's something to me, if you know what I mean. Indeed, hundreds, and may I say thousands of delightful females. Witty and young, bold and beautiful, healthy and wealthy. Thousands of them have insisted on making my acquaintance. Many of the most intelligent have even proposed to me. But of course I turn them all down. Every one. But whenever I meet a young woman, I'm kind to her. And I talk to her. But when the crisis comes, my answer is always an emphatic no. Ladies and gentlemen, I've given this lecture throughout the civilized world. I've received thousands of letters from unhappy husbands expressing the fervent wish that they'd heard me speak sooner. I've received hundreds of letters from engaged couples who, upon hearing me speak, broke off their engagement to follow my example. And I have received a few letters from indignant wives threatening me with Now, we need not go into that right now. The point is, my work is having results, amazing results. But if I have saved but one innocent soul from plunging into the heaving waters of matrimony, then I should feel my work has not been in vain. Though not a married man myself, I have been a serious student of married life for a number of years. I have accumulated and studied all kinds of case histories. Indeed, I may say I am an expert on marriage. Now, you couldn't expect a married man to be honest about his condition, could you? Certainly not. He wouldn't dare. But I, my friends, can view the whole problem of matrimony dispassionately, scientifically, from the lofty mountaintop of bachelorhood. I have examined marriage in all of its aspects, and believe me, it has many. And the thing that always strikes me most forcibly is the great contrast between courtship days and married life, between the before and the after. And in this connection, ladies and gentlemen, permit me to introduce to you my good friends, Algernon and Henrietta.
How do you do?
Both, as you see, are charming young people. Turn around, my dear. I have selected them because they are representative of their age and sex, and their experiences are typical of the experiences of most unthinking young couples. And I regret to say that most young couples are unthinking. And now, with the kind assistance of Algernon and Henrietta, I have prepared a series of living lectures taken from their own lives. No, they're more than lectures. They're a significant slice, as it were, carved from the very body of their experience. Every scene, every word, every action which you will witness tonight has been lived by them. They'll solemnly swear to the truth of my statement.
We swear.
Algernon, we'll need a couple of chairs, please, sir. And these living lectures, my friends, will make perfectly clear to you why I am a bachelor. Lights, please. Lights up. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Henrietta's house. It's a charming home of charming people. These are the stairs leading to the front door, and this is a swing on the front porch. It's a summer night, rather late, and there's a full moon. Moon, please. And you can hear a mockingbird calling to its mate. Oh, very lovely. In fact, it's one of those soft, balmy occasions that are so dangerous to the young. Algernon is driving Henrietta home from the dance in a car that he borrowed from his father, without father's permission. The car approaches. The car approaches. The car stops. Algernon is helping Henrietta out very tenderly, of course. You see, they've just been engaged. Algernon and Henrietta enter and speak for themselves.
I love you, Henrietta.
Oh, Algie.
We're going to be married in 1 month.
1 month, isn't it just wonderful?
Oh, it's the most wonderful thing I know. Oh, God, I'm happy. If I could just pick you up and squeak you around.
Oh, Algie, not so loud.
What's the matter?
Well, it's late. You're waking the whole neighborhood. They'll think we're drunk.
Oh, but I am drunk. But drunk with love.
Do you really love me as much as all that?
More than that, Henrietta. Oodles more.
And you'll always love me? Always?
Henrietta.
Well, will you?
Well, of course, dearest. How could I help it?
And you'll never quarrel or be unkind with me or Mother or Aunt Emma or Ida May?
Never in the whole world.
So sweet.
Why, your mother, she's a perfect lamb. And Emma's a doll. And your sister's adorable. And you're the prettiest, most darlingest, most adorable.
Algernon, just a minute. Wait a minute, there's something I need to explain. Ladies and gentlemen, you must realize that Algernon is not really lying. As a matter of fact, he believes every word he says. Henrietta is just as sincere. It's the moon. The night, the inexperience of youth that is putting such ideas into their heads. They do not realize that never and always mean a pretty long time, especially after one's married. Go on, my dear.
Oh, isn't it a lovely night?
Oh, it's a night just made for love.
Oh, and look at that gorgeous moon.
Why, it's in love with the whole earth, Henrietta.
And listen to the mockingbird.
And he's singing of love.
Everything's so perfectly lovely.
That's because we're in love.
In love. Oh. Algie,
Yes?
what time is it?
Why, it's 10 minutes to 10.
Oh, so late? I'm afraid I must be leaving.
Why, what's the hurry?
Oh, I must leave, Algernon. Now, don't be sad. I promised Mother I'd be home by 9:30. Well, she'll be so worried. I've enjoyed myself so much. Good night, dear.
Well, can't I come in for a while?
Oh, no, Algie. Well, Mother and Aunt Emma are in bed, and they wouldn't like it. Good night, my dear, sweet future husband.
Good night, Henrietta.
That's enough. Ah, young love. How many of you have experienced an evening such as this? Come on, don't be shy. Raise your hand. Ah, look at all of them. And you folks will really enjoy this next scene. It's just 2 weeks later now. Henrietta's mother is out with Aunt Emma and Ida May. Henrietta has invited Algernon over for breakfast. Ah, they're so much in love. Algernon is supposed to be eating, but he hasn't eaten enough to feed a sparrow. You know how it is. Action, please.
Do you really like my biscuits, Algie?
Why, they're divine.
But you've only had one, dear.
But I'm feeding on the love in your eyes.
Oh, well, I'm afraid that isn't very substantial.
I prefer it to any food on earth.
Of course, Algernon doesn't realize what he's saying. He's in a very peculiar condition here. Go ahead, Henrietta.
Oh, you dear, dear boy. Oh, Algie, isn't being in love just wonderful?
Oh, it's the most wonderful thing I know.
Just being in love, or just being in love with me?
Oh, Henrietta, I couldn't imagine love without you.
Oh, now do finish your coffee. I'm afraid it's already cold.
But I don't want coffee. I only want you.
Oh, now don't be silly. Besides, if you don't drink your coffee, I will marry you. Algie, do you think you'll ever fall in love with some other woman after we're married?
Henrietta!
Well, that's no answer.
Why, Henrietta, no other woman will ever exist but you.
Oh, you do say the nicest things.
That's because I'm in love with you, my beautiful, darling girl.
Hold that pose right there, Algie. Don't move. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to pay particular attention to the strange expression of Algernon's eyes. Turn around, You'll find the same expression in the eyes of people who aren't all there. That's what love does to human beings. It destroys their reason, makes them rave about nothing at all, or very little. It gives them an altogether wrong perspective of things. Yes, indeed. Love makes people mad. That's enough. Thank you, guys. Now, Henrietta's pretty, and I'm the first to admit that. But she's no prettier than millions of other young females. You can see that, and I can see that. But to Algernon, She is the most beautiful, the most sublime thing in the universe. Crazy, isn't it? You've heard Algernon say that no other woman will exist but Henrietta. That's all right. But he can't see it. Love has made him blind. Henrietta suffers from the same disease. She doesn't have it quite so badly as Algernon, but for some reason women fare better in that respect than men. And that's that. Go on, please.
Algie, do you ever dream of the future?
How do I?
Of the days when we're married?
Boy,
And all the wonderful times we'll have together?
I think of nothing else.
Every morning I'll get up early and I'll make breakfast for you.
Oh, no, you won't. I won't let you.
Oh, yes, you will, because it will make me very happy.
She really thinks it will.
Oh, but then we'll sit and coo the whole day long.
Oh, well, that's what you'd like, lazy boy. But you're going to have to go out and earn a living for your little family.
Oh, but how happy I'll be to go out and to buy you things.
You see, he has lost his mind.
Will it really make you so happy, Algie, buying things for your wife?
Oh, I'll say it will. You know what?
What, dear?
I'll buy you all the jewels and spices of Araby and lay them at your feet.
He doesn't even know where Araby is.
And why will you do all this for me, Algie?
Oh, don't pretend. You know why.
I know, but say it anyway. I just love to hear you say it. Yes?
It's because I...
Yes?
That's enough. Algernon, would you remove the table, please? I think they've done an outstanding job. Just 2 short years have passed now. Algernon and Henrietta are now married. Algernon has a good job, and Henrietta is looking after the home. This now is Algernon's house. It's a charming home of a charming couple. These are the stairs leading to the front door, and this is a bench on the front porch. It's a summer night again, rather late, and there's a full moon. It's hard to get good help. And you can hear a mockingbird calling. Mockingbird! There'll be a job opening after this. Algernon is driving Henrietta home from the theater, this time in his own car. You see, it's their wedding anniversary, and they've been out celebrating. Henrietta wanted to take along her mother, Aunt Emma, and Ida May to help in the celebration. But Algernon put his foot down. The car approaches. The car stops. Algernon and Henrietta enter, talking.
For heaven's sake, stop nagging! You've been keeping it up ever since we left the theater.
That's what you always say when you know you're in the wrong.
Oh, was it my fault the idiot drove into us, was it?
You were driving much too fast.
Oh, that's right. Blame me. You always do.
I always try to be just, Algernon.
You do. Where's that confounded key? I wish somebody would strangle that bird!
Algernon, would you do me a favor?
Well, what is it?
Please, don't pick your teeth in the theater again. Oh, it embarrasses me. Why didn't you see the way that young girl was looking at you? Well, honestly, the habit's too revolting.
For the love of Mike, can't a man do anything that gives him pleasure?
Not if it disgusts other people.
Well, other people disgust me.
Oh, and how can you talk like that?
See here, Henrietta, I'm getting sick and tired of it. I can't do a blame thing anymore without getting nagged at. First it's you, then it's Aunt Emma, then it's Ida May, then it's your mother.
Oh, Algernon, I forbid you to speak of my mother.
Now, why does she have to interfere anyway? You tell me that, you old cow. Moo. Every time I open my mouth, she wants to butt right in. I've never known my life.
Oh, would you stop?
side of May only nag me for my own good, too.
Of course.
Of course. Tell me this, did I marry you or did I marry your whole darn family? I'm just about fed up.
Algie? Algernon, I'm speaking to you!
What is it?
Are you forgetting so quickly?
Forgetting what?
It's our anniversary. Only 2 years ago.
Seems like 20 to me.
Aren't you ashamed of yourself? Have you no sentiment at all?
Well, what little I had's been knocked out of me.
By me, I suppose.
I'm not accusing anybody, but you helped, and your family did the rest.
Well, to think that after only
Oh,
two
come
short
on,
years,
don't commence again.
that you would even speak to me like that.
What did I say?
After all of your promises.
But I didn't say anything.
Oh, no, you never do. I'm so miserable.
Oh, I apologize then. I don't know what I said, but I apologize. Let's go inside, shall we? Why should the neighbors hear our troubles? It's okay, old girl. Crying out loud!
I won't stand for you, big heartless bully.
But I didn't say
I'm going
anything.
away and you'll never see me again.
Henrietta!
Touch me. I hate you. Oh, Algie, how could you?
Henrietta! Henrietta!
Lights, please. Ladies and gentlemen, I have made no comment during this last bit of dialogue. It speaks for itself. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why I am a bachelor. I hope through these living lectures my point is well taken. Do you see what I mean now? Do you understand why I am a bachelor?
May I ask a question?
Yeah, you certainly may. I always welcome any questions or comments.
Don't you think this has been slightly one-sided? Yeah.
No, I think you've seen both sides of the coin when they were happy together and then after they were married. Altogether different set of circumstances.
But I can't make an objective decision based on the evidence you have presented.
Well, what more could you possibly want?
Well, it's just that I've been sitting here thinking about my mother and father's relationship. And they've had their misunderstandings just like many other couples. But they've also had those tender moments. And those tender moments are what kept them together for 40 years of marriage. Now, I'm sure this couple has had a tender moment in their life together. I'd like to see one.
I cannot see what bearing this would have on my lecture tonight. The fact still remains that their relationship changed after he said I do. Statistics prove each year there's a greater need for marriage counseling.
Well, perhaps there would be no need for counseling if people would stop showing their worst side to their better half.
I'm sorry, if you have any more questions or comments, we'll have to discuss it out in the foyer. I'm out of time.
I think you're being unfair. I'm sure this couple has had a tender moment together, and I would like to see one. Wouldn't you like to see a tender moment, sir?
This is highly irregular. What you're asking is impossible. Completely impossible.
It's okay, Algie. I think we can handle it.
Hey, let's tell them what happened this afternoon.
Yeah, sure.
Hey, whose side do you on anyway?
It's okay, Don. It won't be painful, and besides, I'll be right beside you.
All right. What can it hurt?
Oh, hello, Algernon.
Hello, Henrietta.
How was your day?
It was okay. How's yours?
Oh, just wonderful. Oh, Algie, I have the most exciting news to tell
And
you.
Emma's not coming for a visit.
No, and Emma isn't coming.
The new washer arrived.
No, the washer hasn't arrived.
You got the job at the mall?
No. Oh, Algie, I just found out today that we're going to have a baby.
Baby.
Yes.
Henrietta, baby, we're going to have a baby. Oh, how do you feel? Sit down, sit down. What can I get for you? Can I get you a blanket? Anything?
Fine, Algernon.
But there must be something I can get for you.
Well, I am hungry.
Well, what can I get? Anything? Popcorn, yogurt?
All day today, I've been thinking about how good a pepperoni pizza would taste with licorice ice cream all over the top.
Licorice ice cream on pizza? Ooh. Okay, anything you want. Oh, Henrietta, I love you.
Oh, I love you too, Algie.
Baby Henrietta, I'm so happy I married you.
I never knew there were moments like such as this.
That's because they usually happen in private.
Ladies and gentlemen, I guess this concludes our lecture for tonight. Would you like to have dinner with me this evening?
Why, thank you. I'd love to.
Let's be on our way. Lights? Would anybody like to work back in there? Jody, will you come out here, please? Jody's been the director of Adam and Eve and this performance. Plus, she's the proprietor of the building, so.